How's it going, everybody? This is Martin Stokes here.
And this is Dean Scurry.
And I am a traveller.
And I'm a countryman.
Welcome to A Traveller
and a Countryman podcast.
Episode 26 with Dean and Martin, yeah?
Episode 26.
A Traveller and a Countryman podcast.
Nearly 6 months in now.
I'm sure by now some people know what this is as a Traveller and Countryman podcast. And I don't know if they even know the meaning of why we called it a traveller and a countryman. But I'm guessing, well, it'd be silly to say it, I don't know if they know. So, of course, naturally, if I'm a traveller and you're a countryman, then they do understand the name of it. But do they understand the meaning of the podcast?
What's the meaning of it?
Go and tell me, Dean. Come on, Dean's going to tell us now.
No, you don't set me up for a question that you want the bleeding answer for. You're great at doing that.
Dean is going to tell us all about
Here
the podcast now.
Here we go. Martin Stokes, episode 26, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast.
Okay, so I'm Martin, and you're who?
Dean.
And what together we are, what?
Two fucking agents.
That's right, two absolute lunatics.
So we're 6 months in. How do you feel about it?
6 months in. It's actually, I think it flew, and it's getting interesting. Well, I'm hoping it's getting interesting on my side because I just like it as it is, basically. Bit of crack, bit of banter, the chance to do a bit of ballyragging, is it? What call it in your words? What would you call
backbiting?
Backbiting. I mean, yeah, but I was going to say
backbiting.
Yeah,
bit of slagging.
Is that exactly what you call it? Yeah.
Yeah, slagging the bollocks out of someone.
So would you call it eating the bones of somebody or backbiting somebody or
if I was being nasty, it'd be biting the back off someone.
Yeah.
Tearing the back off them. Tearing the lumps out of them.
So it's called backbiting, yeah. And do you do much of that, Dean? Well, I've heard a few things about you talking about me when I'm not around.
Right, go on, list them all out.
What?
List them all out.
No, I don't want to embarrass you on the podcast. Yeah.
Don't be making shit up.
I'm very sensitive. I'm very sensitive like that, you know what I mean? I don't like bringing, let's say sometimes I don't like bringing truths to the surface. Especially,
man, you like storing the shit. You want to get on here and store the shit.
Hold it for 1 second now,
and I hold you back.
I was speaking good about you. I was saying that I don't want to embarrass you, really. That was the words I was trying to say. So I'm going to just push all that one side now for now. Like the time, remember we talked one time about, oh my God, yeah, that was one thing I seen the other day on a thing where somebody found 20,000 euros in another country, yeah? That was a lot of money, obviously, massive money. And they actually handed it back in. What would you do?
If I found 20 grand.
This is the moral. What would you do?
If I found 20 grand.
Now, Dean, before you start, before you make an absolute idiot of yourself, right? Be straight and honest. Think before you talk. What would you do with 20,000 euros if you found it, regardless of where you found it, basically? And if you had any idea at all, because you can go up with this answer to me saying, well, if I didn't know who owns it, who would I give it to? Forget about that one, right? That's not going to work out tonight, right? What I am saying is, if you found 20,000 euros and you had an inkling of who might own it, would you hand it back?
And you mean like if I knew who owned it?
I'm saying if you were sort of, right, it could be that person. I'm not 100% certain, but I have an inkling that it might be theirs.
I'd ask them, I'd say, did you lose money?
And how would you, how would you, supposing they said yes, because natural instinct, a
I'd
person
say how much?
might, let's say a decent person might not say yes if they didn't lose it. But a person that, who say, yeah, I'll have a shot at this one, If
it was 20 grand and I thought somebody lost it, I'd say to them, did you lose money? And if they say yeah, I'd say how much?
How much?
And then they'd have to say a number.
Now, Dean, hold on for a minute. You're playing detective here now, right? We're not going to get that deep into it.
So hold on. So what's their answer then? Me and you do it. Go on.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm asking you the questions.
Yeah, but let's pretend.
See, you do all
remember the role play that we done last?
You do this all the
last time in the car.
You keep vice versa the questions back on top of me. Now, at the end of the day, right?
Don't be using big words like vice versa.
At the end of the day, you're the guy with education here. You're the guy that got all the college degrees, has the big job. I'm only an old traveller from Ballymun here.
I'm going to play the Traveller
I'm asking you simple questions.
We should do a game show. The Traveller sympathy card.
You're complicating it.
Oh, well?
You're complicating the whole thing. So now tonight it's the Dean Scurry show. Well, it's the Dean Scurry podcast. Here it goes. Go on, answer that question, and don't try and get stuff out of it. Won't you not? As always, don't play the 3-year-old around me. Okay. Go on, Daddy, can I get a chance this one? I don't know this one. I'm looking for an answer.
You don't need anyone else on this podcast. You'll just talk the head off a hammer.
Come on.
Right, you ready?
Yeah, there's no way out of this.
All right, let's say I walk out of here.
Yes.
There's 20 grand in a bag on the ground.
Yes.
I pick it up.
Yeah.
If I don't know anybody who lost 20 grand, or I don't think I know anybody who's looking for 20 grand,
Yes.
it's my 20 grand.
It's your 20 grand.
Yeah.
So would you make inquiries to who might have lost it without disclosing the figure, basically?
Who the fuck loses 20 grand now?
This the question.
Who loses 20 grand? Who's walking around with 20 grand?
Listen, you'd be surprised.
No, it wouldn't be. Have you ever had 20 grand in your hand?
Wow, I've never seen 20 grand in my life.
Well,
what are you
then,
talking about?
If someone loses
Come
20
here.
grand, they deserve to lose it. Tough.
I barely
I'm
know
taking
how
it.
to announce the figure, never mind know what it's like
Yeah.
to have. It happened in, I can't think of the name of the country. Last week, somebody found 20,000 euros and they handed it back in to the authorities, basically. Now,
Fuck that.
after that, I don't know what happened to it. Now, I'll tell you another good one, will I? There was a charity shop in Ballymun, right? Well, actually, no, it wasn't in Ballymun. The woman that ran the charity shop in Ballymun, she was in another charity shop in Dublin for a couple of days. And of course, people do donate clothes and shoes and all sorts of stuff. And when they went through, see, what happens is they have to sort these things out. Then they either go to the bin or they go on the shelf, whatever way they do it, I don't know. But as it was to be, when they were putting some shoes on the shelf, and there was something in the shoe, and she takes it out, and it was like a little...
It was a mouse.
No, that was the rat. It was a rat in the kitchen. What am I going to do? There's a rat in the kitchen. What am I going to do?
I'm going to put that
wasn't-
rat in my pocket because it's 20
I've
grand.
never heard a mouse song, believe it or not. Anyway,
3 blind mice.
she took out that was 3 mice, not one. We're talking about one mouse there. Right, this gets childish now, doesn't it?
This is how Martin generally
where it
is,
all
right?
gets
He's
childish.
starting to come out of himself now.
Anyway,
She's a
there was a little
51-year-old
gift box-
child.
A little gift box in the shoe. She took it out, and there was 3,000 euros in it.
Yeah.
She called the guards, gave it to the guards.
She called the guards and said there was 10 euro in it.
No, she called the guards. She gave the money to the guards, and after 12 months, the guards comes back looking for her. What do you think happened?
He said, do you have the other shoe?
Yeah, they found the other shoe.
Gave her the money back, did
There
they?
was no money in the other shoe. The thing about it is, they said to her, they said, look, we have to let you know that nobody claimed that money. So she said, okay. She said, what happens next? We have to put it into a fund, a certain fund. Whatever the fund was, I don't know. And the 3,000, now obviously it went to the fund and it was good at the end of the day. But the 3,000 euros went into the fund.
Yeah, the guard,
So she
we're
asked
going
the
to get
guard,
lunch fund.
She said, why did you come back and tell me then? She said, yeah. He said, it's our duty basically, after 1 year, now I don't know have these things changed or not. It's our duty after 1 year, if a person finds something that's not claimed, to come back and let you know that it hasn't been claimed, but it has to go to some treasury or some fund or whatever it is anyway. So that was the story there, Ian, with the findings of the... So back to you then. If you found money, you wouldn't hand it up, would you?
If I walked out of here, if I walked out of this building now, right?
Aye.
And there was a bag on the ground with 20 grand in it.
Aye.
And it's not obvious who owns the bleeding thing.
Aye.
Aye.
It's irritating you, Dean, yeah.
No. No, not at all. You are, but that's
I
not.
could tell the way you were looking. That aye was irritating you, wasn't it? It was absolutely distracting.
You're all giddy today. Were you eating too
Tell
many
you what,
jellies or something?
No, I have a sweet there in the water. Thing about it is, it was distracting your thinking. Is that right?
Yeah, you're some dope.
Go on, Dean.
So 20 grand is mine.
Fair enough,
Done.
20
I'm
grand.
taking it.
So if you found a wallet, say with money in it, would you hand it back?
If there was no ID in the wallet, yeah. If there was ID in
I
it.
don't believe this. You're looking for every way out to keep the money.
No, if there was ID in it,
Dean, now,
if there was
get this-
ID in it,
let's
I'd go, who owns the bleeding
Yeah,
money?
but
It's
let's-
obvious.
let's
The
go back
ID's
to
in
where we
it. There's no
started.
ID in it. Who are you going to give the money to? The guards?
Let's go back
Come
to where we
on.
started. This only admit there is no money. We're just saying you can't keep that wallet, and you can't say there is no ID in it because there's no wallet there in the first place. We're just saying if you found somebody's wallet,
If I were a rich
Now, come
man, yada 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 yum. If I were a filthy, dirty rich man.
why would someone want a wallet and not have no IDs in it? You try to make it look like you found a wallet with money in it, but there's no ID, so I'm going to keep this money. That's exactly what you're trying to do there.
That's exactly what I do. What would you do?
That's what you would do.
Hold on, Martin. What would you do?
Dean, I'm the question.
Mighty down there.
I think I'm the questionnaire here, am I? I'm the guy that's asking the questions.
That's bollocks. No.
We said earlier on, this is the Dean show, not the Martin show.
You made that
fantasy
up.
The Martin is asking the questions.
You hate being put on the spot.
What?
What would you do?
I don't mind, honestly.
What would you do?
What would I do? What? Ask the question. I can't understand that part.
You found a bag of money.
If I found a bag of money,
yeah,
and I knew who wanted it,
no,
well, there'd be a problem now, wouldn't there?
Well, what's the problem for? You found a bag of money.
What would I do with it?
Yeah.
And if I knew who owned it, I'd hand it back to them.
You don't know who owns it.
So are you saying if I found a bag of money, can you please rephrase the question and ask it in full, please?
Martin, I know you're tick, but don't be acting the tick.
Come
You found a bag of money. That's all.
Yes.
Nothing else.
What then?
What do you do?
If I found a bag of money, what do I do with it? It depends.
You're stalling. Answer the fucking question.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that question.
You're trying to come up with the perfect answer.
No.
Just answer the fucking question.
I told you before, we're not perfect. There's none of us perfect. We're never going to have it perfect. Thing about it is...
What you're ashamed to say is you'd keep it.
You're just saying that because I'm a traveller, is that it? You just threw that straight in my face, didn't you, Dean? I'm accusing you of saying that I keep the money because I'm a traveller, yeah. I would take that money and give it to the person that would own it.
No. You're talking shite now. You don't know who owns it.
See, you got to ask these solid questions. You're asking bits and pieces of questions. Sometimes, remember I told you, sometimes you're very, very thick in your own way, whether you realise it or not. I said, Dean, just because you have something in your mind or your heart doesn't mean everybody else knows it.
6
you have to
months I'm doing a podcast.
You have to explain
with
the words.
This donkey.
Yeah, but the point about it is, this donkey's going to start kicking if you don't shut up.
What would you do, Martin? Come on now, cut to the chase.
I'd hand it back.
You don't know who to hand it back to who? No, you don't know who owns it.
I know. I'm going to answer this question the way I want to answer it. Okay.
Go on.
I would hand the money back if I knew who wanted it. If I couldn't, I would make inquiries. Sorry, I would make inquiries to find out who owns this money. If I wouldn't just give up and say, no, I can't find that person. I would really try to find. If I couldn't find them, then I'd have to work on my conscience now, wouldn't I? I'd have to say, look, hold it. Somebody might need this money better than myself or the person that lost it. So I'd work ways of finding to sort of share a little bit, generally and probably through charities.
Would you share any with yourself?
With myself?
Yeah.
I wouldn't exactly... I might treat myself a little bit, but I wouldn't...
So you'd use someone else's money to treat yourself?
Look at staying with shoes. I need a pair of shoes very badly for starters.
You'd use somebody else's money to treat yourself?
That jacket I have the last couple of years, need a jacket.
It's not very...
What?
It's not very holy, is it?
Oh, go on, Dean.
It's not very holy. You're going to use somebody else's money to treat yourself?
No, I wouldn't. That wouldn't be holy. I said I would examine the conscience and help out some charities.
And keep a few quid for yourself.
Now, if you didn't understand that, Dean...
How much would you keep? How much would you keep? 100, 200?
Out of how much?
20 grand.
Out of 20 grand?
Yeah.
And seriously, I couldn't really and truly find who wanted it.
Yeah.
I would genuinely go around and help people that maybe need...
How much would you keep for yourself?
I wouldn't keep it, seriously.
Let's say you had a big bill. Let's say you had a big bill coming up.
I know people might say, what's wrong with that gobshite?
You had €800 for insurance on a caravan.
However, right? Anyway, you say the word, right? Thing about it is... I would genuinely, which I'll give you a small example. Now, this is a very little example. Small example. I was, one time, it was on the day of my birthday, yeah? This is, believe it or not, it's true, right? And where was I driving? I was driving, stopped at a stop road in Ballymun somewhere, and next I spotted like a €50 on the ground. So obviously I got out, it wasn't a main road or a dangerous road. I got out and lifted it, but as it was to be, there was 2 50s in it, doubled up. So this was my birthday, wasn't it?
It was your fucking birthday, all right, you found 2 50s.
I said, lovely, yeah, 2 50s, €100. So I went all around Ballymun.
No, you didn't.
I knocked on every door in Ballymun.
You didn't, your hole.
Right, no, let's get this right first. How many houses in Ballymun?
3,000.
There's not more than that now, no?
No.
What about the buildings and all? I went up and down every one of the flats. Every flat in Ballymun. I knocked on all the doors to see who owned that €100. Well, do you believe that?
I do me bollocks.
Do you
believe it? I do me bollocks. I'd say you looked at those 2 50s and you start crying and you went, yeah.
No, I actually thought you were stupid enough to believe it.
What did you do?
Why I told
did you keep it?
That's why I made up that story for you.
Did you keep it?
No, I put it in a poor box.
Where's the poor box?
The poor box. I have a card.
Yeah.
And basically it's Concerned. That's the name of the charity.
Very good.
They're actually a big charity. And I put into that. I do throw a little few bob every week in that. I don't need to disclose how much I put in that every week, okay? I tell you enough of my business besides telling you that. But the other thing about it is, I went on and I put it onto that. And believe it or not, it made me feel good. Because sometimes it's given that we receive it more, don't you? It's in giving that we actually receive. How would you work that out? How would you know? You said yes to that one. You nodded the head, basically. So if I said to you, Dean, it's in giving that we receive. What do we receive when we're given?
Love.
Yeah?
Grace.
So you give somebody money for a charity.
Yeah.
And you receive love, yeah. Go on, what else?
Grace.
You benefit the peace, as you said, and love of knowing that you've just done a small good deed. Very simple. Now, I want to say something else here as well, right? I don't know if everyone would agree with this. Sometimes we want to be, let's say, in the limelight, if you want. Now, Dean, I have to say one thing. You are one guy that strikes the image, basically, if you like. That's the only word I can think of. You sort of always like to be in the limelight. Look at me, I done this. Look at me, I said this.
Says the traveller who has his own podcast.
No, I'm just saying, Dean. I'm not. Look here. I'm not having a go at you like here. And
I pulled the rug underneath you there, and then you start licking your wounds, going.
I sometimes like to tell the truth as well. You know that. So basically, you've heard the phrase, "We can't eat all the sugar lumps." In other words, we can't keep praising ourselves all the time.
Self-praise is?
It's self-praise. You're supposed to say no praise. It's self-praise is self-praise. Simple as. But anyway, where was I thinking? You distracted me again. You put me off.
You were giving the poor people all their money.
Not all my money. I don't have money to give away. I just simply help out the, how would you call it? The lesser fortunate than me. That's the only word I can think of right now, okay? I like to, let's say, share a little bit if I can. I do. I've been doing that for years and years and years, nearly more than half of my life now, the best I put in it. And I actually enjoy it. Now, the moral of the story was, in giving, we receive. It's not about, here, I gave Dean 20 euros, I'm going to get 20, I'm going to walk outside the door now and I'm going to find 40 euros. It's not like that. It's about knowing that you've done a small deed that makes you feel good about yourself also. So you're actually benefiting without realising it. And basically, the other thing I was saying to you there, where I went astray there, saying that this, Dean, you're the perfect example of somebody who loves to highlight everything they do. Now, I'm sorry, Dean, but I have to say this. But the other thing about it is, right?
What are you shouting about?
We can do one good thing in our lives. One big thing.
Yeah.
Like you could take a checkbook out this minute, right? And I know you can well afford it. And write out 10 grand. Go to a charity. Talk about it. That's it. You never do another good deed for the rest of your life. Rubbish. Put the 10 grand into the bin because it seems you've done absolutely nothing. Now, I know everybody wouldn't look at that, right? But if you can do, throughout your life, do all small good deeds, all small things, yeah? Say, whatever it might be, as long as it's a benefit to somebody, a good benefit to somebody, yeah? All small deeds. So the moral of the story is, do all small good things, but do them with great love. Do small things with big love. Big love. Do you remember that song you did?
Who's that one?
Ali Campbell, brilliant.
Give us a bang over there.
Big love, la 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 love. Did you ever hear that one, no?
No.
It's absolutely brilliant. Dean, I tell you, you just listen to all the wrong stuff.
I listen to Bob Marley a lot.
Bob Marley, that's because what? Bob Marley is a good singer, right? He's the mother of...
I know you have a thing about...
He's the mother or the father... He's the mother or the father of reggae.
Yeah.
He has influenced, let's say, literally thousands and thousands of good singers in the reggae scene, basically. But me in particular, yeah, I like UB40. I like Bob Marley. I like is it called the other singers who have been influenced by Bob Marley, because they can make up a lot of when they take a lot of his good stuff, they can also bring more good stuff out of that again.
Oh, will you come into that gig tomorrow night?
Oh, what is it?
In the Olympia.
Bob Marley?
Maverick Sabre.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say Bob Marley. The Olympia Tears here. I'm busted.
What?
You heard a song of Johnny Cash?
Go on.
A man can go wrong when he's busted. So I'm busted.
What does that mean?
Busted means you're broke in your
Oh,
language.
you're running. I'm bringing you.
Whoa! And what sort of food are you treating me now?
You can bring the bleeding white bread sandwiches.
See, the thing about it
Man,
is-
anytime I go up to your gaff, I get white bread sandwiches
Dean, wait for
with
one
ham
second.
and
I don't go
cheese.
up and down the road carrying sandwiches, right?
Don't
So
be
if
giving
you
me
wanna
that
be-
shite
If you want to
anymore.
bring a sandwich, you can't go through the town carrying a bag of sandwiches. That's your choice. But you'll be eating them. I won't be carrying them, and I certainly won't be eating them. I can guarantee that. And the other thing, I'm not even going in the first place.
Are you coming?
I don't know. We'll see. What is it, Maverick?
Maverick, yeah. In the Olympia.
Yeah, he's a good singer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very good, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really hear a lot of his music. Like I
Well,
wouldn't.
then come along on Sunday and listen to it.
We'll see what happens. Okay.
Are you busy Sunday night?
Yeah, I'm always busy. I have family at home. I have a lovely, big, beautiful family, and I love spending time around them all the time. You see, that's
I'd
me
say
main-
they love to see when you walk out the door. They love to see the back of you.
I
That
don't know, Dean.
fucking Egypt has gone out for an hour or two.
You know something?
He's hanging out with that tick Dean.
You could be right about that, but as long as I don't know that,
I'm letting you know
then
now.
I'm easy and I'm happy with
I'm
that.
letting you know now.
I'm good.
The boy is to be
I'll tell you,
texting me.
It's possible
Is
times.
Daddy with you? Thank
It's
God.
possible times.
Thank
yeah.
Jesus, Daddy's
They
out
like
there-
to see the door shutting
out of
behind.
caravan.
What is it? They like to see the door shutting behind me. We liked. Someone said that before about some of the grandkids. We love to see them come around, but we also like to see them going.
I mean, what was the gripe you had? You were talking to me before we start recording about garages and
No, about shops.
yeah, shops.
Yeah, there was a thing there last week about where there's so many shops now and say garages like petrol stations or whatever you want it. They're all using let's say cashless payment. Yeah, but some of the shops now are going to be forced to actually accept cash, because the thing about it is, apart from people not having much money in the first place, some people don't have cards. So when they're going to do shopping, whether it be clothes or whatever, food or whatever it might be, just say fuel or one thing or another, and they're asked for, sorry, you can only pay by card. So literally they're stranded then because they haven't got a card. Of course, they have the cash, but they're not accepting it.
Where do you not accept
So-
it? In some shops?
In some shops, yes.
I haven't seen that yet.
No, I'm not going to dispute that with you, because I didn't just lick this off the stone. Like,
No, what I'm saying is,
if you know what I
have
mean.
you been into a shop where they don't accept cash?
No, where? I think there was one place. I'm trying to think where it was. The other thing about it is, anyway, it's obviously happening when it's getting brought up in the Dáil next week.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
Is that one of them things?
So this isn't. Whoa.
So Martin sends
Dean,
me
hold up there, kid.
lately about 5 or 6 stories from the media,
Thing
from
about it
the
is,
Dáil, from bleeding, all types of stuff about housing and homelessness and traveller issues, and this one.
it's not just travellers.
No, but that's one of the
Dean,
things that
hold
you
a
sent
second.
me.
Don't be throwing the sympathy cards at me again, right? Or the discrimination card. I'm sick and tired of that card. That card's in the bin for me, okay? Right. Now, the other thing about it is,
Do you, when
Well,
you
a
say
little-
the word travellers, do you
well,
get
a
up on your
little
big
bit-
high horse,
well,
even
a
if I
little
just say
bit-
the word
well, a
traveller?
little bit older than that as well, like, you know what I mean? The other thing as well, this topic just didn't just come from the traveller guy, basically. Okay?
Yeah, but
It
you're
came from
interested in it.
something-
Where did it come? Where
It came
did
from
you hear
an article that I seen on, what do you call it? Do you know when you click into your phone now, all the headlines comes up, like the news headlines comes up in Google?
Yeah.
It's like automatically they're sent there for some reason. So I do dig into that a lot.
So
I
what was
do-
this one saying?
This one just grabbed me attention about cash, because not everybody has a bank card. Like, I know you might say we're living in the Stone Ages. That's fine. Okay. If people, supposing somebody sends say maybe a 10 or 12-year-old boy or girl to the shop, just say this, and now they're not going to give them a card if they have it or not, and they give them money and say, hey, go and get such a message, and then the shopkeeper says, sorry, we can't accept cash. That means the mother or the father or whoever, the grandmother or whatever it might be, has to get up of the house and go to the shop, bring themselves to the shop with that card, because if they give the child the card and the child loses the card, it's another issue, isn't it? Right. So therefore, it's hassle for them. There could be babysitting, there could be whatever, they mightn't be able, they could be sick, or they could be tired, or it could be one reason or another why they can't get to that shop. So that's why it's called like say doing messages, isn't it? That's why people say to maybe young people, will you get me a message in the shop, please, if you don't mind? That kind of stuff. So it seems to be, I don't know about it, I don't know much about this, but it seems to be a big issue when it's going to the dial, and it's going to be talked about, and they are actually saying that shops and whatever supermarkets, there was one supermarket that wouldn't accept cash, wasn't there? I think it was around time of COVID. A lot of the shops, that's where it's come back to me now.
Yeah, a lot of the shops during COVID didn't want to take cash.
Because
they were dirty. And people's hands was on them and all that. And since then, there have been more and more places where tapping your card is the option.
Yes.
Like, it's very rarely now that I'll have paper money in me wallet.
So the chances are then it's probably happening in and around town then.
It's happening everywhere. It's happening not just in town, not just in Dublin, not just in Ireland, all over the world. We're going to a cashless payment system.
Yeah,
but what
that's
you're
going to
saying
happen
is the
eventually.
article in this country, in the Dáil, was saying we can't go fully cashless because of these different reasons.
Whatever reason it is, maybe they're not. Maybe the country is not fully prepared for it. Then it's obvious it's something like that. Like where they give you this card, like with your what you call it? Say your license, for instance. Right, everybody has a license. Not everybody. I'm saying people that drive say right. You get it's what would you call it? It's obligatory, is it, to actually have that card on you? That's that license card. Now it's almost the same way, if not even better or worse, to have your PPS card with you, because it's an ID. It's an ID, isn't it, really? So more or less it tells everything about you, doesn't it? Right. So now they're saying, right, they're not saying it, but it looks like they're coming to this. Everybody is going to be issued, for one reason or another, with some sort of a payment card or a bank card or a post office card or whatever card taps that day and pays the bill in the shops. So I think what they are getting at is a cashless world. And that's not just in Ireland. I think this is going to be happening.
How would you cope in a cashless world?
Well, let's put it this way. I've never had a lot of money in my hands anyway, so I don't have to worry about that. You see? So therefore, if I had a cashless world, I think it's absolutely crazy.
Why?
For lots of reasons.
Give us a few.
Yeah, I knew you were going to hit me with that one there, but sometimes if I say something like for lots of reasons, doesn't mean...
You don't have any reasons.
No, you listen to me first. It doesn't mean that I have the...
You can sense in there, behind what you're saying, you just want to come over here and thump the head on me.
Well,
you listen to me there now.
I'll get around to that later, okay? Thing about it is, if you ask me a question and I don't have something right there on the top of my tongue, that doesn't mean that at all times, just because you ask a question... Well, let me finish first, please. That doesn't mean that I have my dictionary with me everywhere I go, does it? Now, what was the question you asked me again, Dan?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Why would it be a nightmare?
I just explained one of the reasons a minute earlier on to you. If it's
kids going to the shops?
Yeah, that can be one of the reasons, yes.
Okay, so that's a good one. I never even thought of that one, but that is a good one.
I think that's one anyway.
But the kid could have... You could revolute the kids the money on their phone. What if they don't have a phone then?
That's another upgrade, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not every kid has a phone, have they?
Absolutely not.
Probably a lot of them has, but not every one of them. But I still think there's a few reasons why this cashless thing would be... I actually thought of a few reasons there when I seen that. But today my head's just not the best, know what I mean?
Look, if you were ducking and diving and buying stuff and maybe buying old scrap or this and that, you'd want to be exchanging cash, you know? And one of the reasons you'd want to exchange cash, one of the reasons I would want to exchange cash is to avoid paying any tax on it.
Well, I'll tell you something else as well now. There's there's a lot of fraud going on with these bank cards and these transfers and all that.
Oh, there's loads. My ma's Revolut got emptied. Somebody sent her a text. She clicked on it and started asking her 4 or 5 questions. Now, there was only, a couple of quid in the Revolut. Yeah. And my ma she's sharp enough, like, she's not thick.
Right.
But she's, she'd be an older woman. She has a phone. She clicked on a thing on her phone, whatever the thing was. She didn't know what it was.
Right.
And then she called us in going, there's no money left in me Revolut there. And she just had to buy the bullet. And, that's
But the bottom line is, whether there was more or less, she was still scammed.
She was still scammed, and it's happening, I would say, in Ireland alone. there is a successful scam happening once every 5 minutes. Easily, in this country alone. Because you've got most people, even the people who are tech savvy, who know what they're doing, can get duped. I got duped before, and I know like computers inside out.
Yeah.
This was a great one, right? Let me explain this one. I was renting out a room, stuck it up on a site, got an email saying, yeah, I'd love to take that room. I'm in London and I'm studying and I'm just about to come to Ireland and my college is going to pay my full rent for the year.
Can you send me your bank details?
Can you send me your bank details and I'm going to transfer the money to you today?
Oh,
right?
Man, Dina, how do you smarter than that?
So then she sent it back. Actually, I'm going to mail you the check, right?
Yes.
So 2 days later, I went out and went to the post box. There was an envelope in it with a check in it for the rent for a year. So let's say the rent was 12 grand for the year, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the bank, put it into my bank account.
But like in all honesty, you were looking for softness too, weren't you?
Put the check that she sent to me into the bank account. And it came up as 12 grand in the bank account. And I was going, this is bleeding deadly. This young one's coming over here. She sent the money. She sent the check. I went and put the check into the bank.
Full payment in advance.
Full payment in advance, right?
Yeah.
About a month and a half later, the bank came back going, that check bounced. You owe us 250 quid for a fraudulent check. But in the meantime,
serious?
In the meantime, in the interim, she said, listen, keep the check. Right? This is before the bank got onto me. She said, keep the check, but there's one problem is I can only stay in your place for 11 months. Is there any chance you could send me back 1 month's rent? You see that one?
Oh, that was a good one.
That's a good one. Is there any chance you could send me
one.
back 1 month's rent?
And the
that
other
is
thing,
a fucking cracker.
So it wasn't a she then, was it?
I don't know who it was. It could have been a fucking a dude in the bleeding cave in Coolock. I don't know who the fuck it was. It could have been a computer doing it.
The way I said it wasn't a she is if a woman wasn't smart enough to do this. Women are actually smart enough to do these things.
I don't even know. The gender of the person doesn't even matter. The country they were in doesn't even matter. The scam worked almost perfectly. Because I was like, this woman's at the putting a check into my post box. I'm at the going to the bank. And it's a really reputable check that she sent me from a good bank.
So
the
your
bank
money went into the
accepted
account?
Huh?
It went into the account?
No, the bank took it off me and credited my account with, say, 12 grand or whatever it was.
Ah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then and then a couple of days later,
in your bank.
Yeah, a couple of days later, she said, "Did you get that check?" And I went in the email, "Yes."
Yes.
Did you lodge it? And I said, "Yes." She said, "That's great. Is there any chance, because I can only stay for 11 months, is there any chance you could send me back 1 month's rent when you're ready? Like, there's no rush."
Playing the game nice and calm.
What did you say?
She was playing the game nice and calm.
Just nice and calm. She knew that, she'd put all the pieces on the table and she'd move them around, just nice and easy.
But she also knew that she had a dean on the other side of the line.
But she had somebody who was taking a check off her and lodging it in their account, and it was credited in the account.
So then, tell me about this.
So the money was there. The money was there by all accounts, and it took.
So if you had to draw the money out,
she knew it was going to take a month and a half for the bank to come back to me and say that check bounced. Now you owe the bank. Whatever. I think it was 10% of the check you owe the bank.
So you still
So for her, it was a win-win-win all the way along. She couldn't lose.
Yeah, but when the money went into your account, could you have took it out if you want?
Don't know. Possibly. But I didn't. Why would you take that amount of money out?
You never debited whatsoever.
No, I just seen it.
But at the same time,
I seen it on my account, and I had a big smile in my face going,
so
that's
at the
handy.
same time, it was too good to believe, too good to be true.
It was almost too good. You could smell it a little bit.
What did they say about the thing that's, if it's too good to be true, then it is?
It's too good to be true, then it is. No, that's not what they say.
Is that what they say about it? No.
No.
So what did they say? You tell me one.
I don't know what it is, but it's fucking not that.
So how can you contradict something? If you don't know what it is, how can you contradict it? Tell me that.
If you don't have
So
a
you're
list of
just-
stuff that to
just as
prove
lost-
your point,
you're
how can you
just-
have a point?
You're just as lost as I am then.
I think the deal was I think your woman with the check won this one as
this is
well.
what it is. If it's too good to be true,
It's not fucking true.
then it's not true. Yeah, that's right.
So that was a good scam, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can dry your tears now there, Dean. It's okay.
Did you ever get scammed like that?
It's done and done. Nah, I would be too smart to get scammed.
No, you in your hole. I'd say we've all getting scammed.
Too smart to get scammed like that, Dean.
I'd say there's loads of us getting scammed and we haven't got a fucking clue.
I don't know. I think the biggest problem is people giving their complete details. Like, seriously, to have another part of the world, not knowing who they're dealing with.
Sure. I'd say,
Think
right,
about it.
I'd say at any one point, I am logged into at least 150 different websites. You know, like you go onto Amazon and you're buying something, and then you go onto something else, another website, and you're buying something, and then you pay your tax on another thing, and you know what I mean?
So did you ever find money going missing?
Ryanair. I would say at any one time I'm logged in with my bank details on 150 different websites, and I'm just one person. So multiply that by 1 million people in Dublin.
Wow.
Right? It's 150 million bank details.
Wow. That sounds good. Wow. I don't know how early you are, but is that a better wow?
It's a little bit excessive.
Wow. What that?
Don't do that again.
It ruins the it ruins the sound, is it?
Yeah. So my point
so
being,
are you saying you couldn't keep track if you were getting scammed or not? Is that what you're saying to me?
I would say we're all getting scammed and we just don't know it. People could be just
So do you not keep
people
a check
just
on
could
your
be just
account?
milking 2 or 3 pennies off
Yes,
everybody.
that's right. Yeah,
You wouldn't know.
The lower it's done is the less noticeable.
You wouldn't know.
So if they take,
there's no way you go through your bank
if
account.
one company is dealing with 1 million people throughout the world,
Yeah.
so if there's €1, say in a month, just say in a month, only using a small exaggeration here.
Yeah.
It is €1 took of every account, and we're talking about 1 million accounts that a company is dealing with. That's €1 million gone into their account every month, basically.
But doing nothing.
But you don't miss it gone because it's only €1.
Because you'd be looking on your bank balance going, where did I spend that 800 quid? Oh, yeah, I paid me insurance. Well, where did I spend that 350 quid? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I paid for that holiday.
It's easy to forget, though, isn't it?
Well, you're never going to go, where did that 2 cents go?
It's easy to forget, but it's hard to keep track. So are you going to cancel all your bills and all your credit cards and stuff all because of this now?
I don't think
I
so.
don't have that problem. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have no credit cards.
Do you do direct debit for anything?
I've done it a few times for insurance.
Yeah, but it's a setup now or anything like...
It's not now. It was a bad headache. Honestly, a bad headache. So generally now, if I'm paying for my insurance, I just pay them down and get over it.
So the stuff that I would pay direct debit for, the toll bridge.
Right.
Yeah?
I don't pay toll bridge.
What do you mean you don't pay toll bridge?
Come on, Dean. You're a countryman.
What do you mean you don't pay toll?
I don't pay toll bridge.
No, come on, let's get into this one.
I'm only winding you up.
No, man, come on, say it now.
I've got no information for you here today, okay? I'm only
Either
joking
say
with
it or
you.
don't say it.
I'm
Don't be
genuinely
hiding.
winding- I'm only winding you up. Should we all have to pay the toll bridge? If we don't, the guards comes to our door. You idiot, yeah. Look at the way he jumped. He was like, what do you call it?
I'm leaving this bit in.
He was like, that woman, what do you call with the newspaper. She died on top of a good story. There's nothing here for you, okay? There is no story here today for you.
So anyway, I
what are you saying? You don't pay toll bridge?
yeah?
His 2 eyes lit up.
What else do I pay direct debit? Like Netflix. Don't tell me you have someone else's Netflix as well.
Do I?
Whose Netflix do you have?
I'm clipped into next door.
Is there a travel on Netflix?
I don't know.
What's the
I'll find out.
password?
What?
What's the password?
I think it's Travel Flicks. Netflix.
Yeah.
Remember I told you before, Dean, I'm not a big television
I've seen
fan.
Netflix on your gaff. You're
I'll
not
tell you
paying
what.
that as well,
No,
are you not?
You listen to me for 1 minute.
Is that your poor neighbour's Netflix?
I said to you, I'm not a big fan of television, but I'll tell you what I do like watching. I love life stories, documentaries about singers, actors, footballers. I don't care who they are.
Biographies.
Yeah,
Autobiographies.
biography. If it's a life story there, I'm interested in it. And no matter what sort of a life story it is. I'm just fascinated by stuff like that.
Oh, there was one I watched the other
And I
day.
think it's actually good to be like that because we learn stuff. Like we learn stuff about people.
There was one I watched the other day about a young kid in America in probably the 50s, I'm going to say. His name is Emmet Till, a young black kid. He lived up in Chicago. He went down to see his cousins down in the south. He went into a shop and there was a white woman in there. He just looked at her and he had a picture of a white actress that he liked in his wallet.
Yes.
And he showed it to her. And she was like looking at him going, the fuck are you showing me that for? So on the way out of the shop, this is how the story goes anyway.
Yeah.
He whistled at her. Like,
Yes.
one of them. Yeah. She came out with a shotgun and started bleeding, blasting
Shooting him.
bullets at him and all his mates. So they jumped in the car, headed off, went down to their gaff, kind of kept quiet for 2 or 3 days, and they were like, right, you shouldn't have done that. We're in the south. This woman is not going to let this die, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And he was
This
like,
must
no.
be an old story, deal, is it?
Well, this was kind of like the start of the civil rights movement in America.
Right, yeah.
But it's a harrowing story, but it's a beautiful, the young man, Emmet Till, is a beautiful kid. And it's a very powerful
How
story.
old was he, did it say?
I would say
15, 16, like?
14, 15. So what happened then was, so they laid low around his gaff. And on the fourth day, about 2 o'clock in the morning, a couple of white fellas bait down the door,
They found
guns,
the house.
dragged the kid out. And his uncle was in the gaff with all his kids. And your man put the gun to his head going, we're taking this fucking young fella. That's the end of it.
Oh.
Dragged the young fella off. Now when they would drag them off,
Just for whistling at her.
just for whistling at her. They said in the story that they dragged people off for less. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Just for looking at somebody. So you have to imagine you're in the South, in America, Mississippi, all that. Racism is rife. Black people are looked at as fucking less than human.
That's more than racism. That's pure, solid evil, that is.
Pure dehumanising them. This story, Martin, it'll blow your bleeding heart
So
open.
what's the name of it then?
The film is called Till.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on, I'm not sure what I watched it on. I watched it on something. I got a Fire Stick.
Listen,
so it's nice and handy.
later on, yeah, the boys has the Fire Stick, Tommy and Simon. If you can, later on, just text on to me.
I'll text it on you. So, do you want me to tell you the rest of the story?
No, it takes 2 hours because the thing about it is I want to watch it.
No.
And if you tell me the whole story,
anyway,
then I won't be able to
they
watch
take
it.
the young fella off.
But I'll tell you what, just for the sake of anyone else listening, they might want to watch it also. So tell me a bit of the story.
I won't because I don't want to spoil it. They take the young fella. Everyone knows the story. It's a famous enough story. Well, you don't. Me man and dad didn't either. They take the young fella off, but he's not just taken away by white men. He's taken away by black men as well. And they don't treat him good. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a good ending for him. And then this film kicks off because his ma kicks into gear then. And she goes, yeah, do you want to fuck around with me? You want to bleed and do that to my son?
So she stood up for it.
My God. It's a powerful old bleeding story.
Right.
Stuff like that now really interests me. Like,
So is it worth watching then?
yeah, no, it's
I
not
have to
really
say
a biography. It is a true
It's a
life
film, is
story.
it?
True life
Right,
story.
I have to say, there is effects in them types of films. I don't like let's say, the violent sides of it.
Well, in this
Which
one, you don't
sometimes
really
can
see
be
the
bad.
violence. You see the after effect of the violence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what I was saying was
Violence
that,
in this is too.
what I was
too
saying
much.
was about biographies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the life story of the person or the family, whatever it might be. I'm not big on these. Like I remember a few years ago. Yeah, well, it's more than a few years ago now. When that time you had there was a channel there. It used to show all about, say, true life. It was mainly in America. It was happening for some reason, or was these the filmers? I don't know. Was it just American people who was filming it? Not New Zealand. Is it Canada? You have Canada. You have New Zealand. Say American, South America, South. I think is there South Australia, something like that. Anyway,
Australia. There is South Australia
I
as
think
well. Yeah.
it's parts of Australia, right? And there was a lot of murders taking place. Now it's going back years and years. But the thing about it is, I could never, no, I mean never watch one of them in my own home, because I had this thing about me where I didn't want my children or any of my family seeing
Kids don't need to be seeing that
watching
shit.
this stuff. But what I used to do, I go down to see my father's place before he died, God rest him, yeah, for a long time beforehand. And he'd watch them in the evenings. So I'd go down there and just chill out with him and watch them. Basically, when he'd be at home, basically. And that'd be it then. when the program was over, it could be whatever time, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, whatever. And I just head up then. But I would never even, not as much as click onto the channel in my own home. It's weird, isn't it?
Mm.
But at the same time, I used to like watching them. It wasn't about a fascination that where murders were taking place. And I tell you what used to fascinate me most of all was the good police work that the police used to do. And it was just a blessing to see where they used to put their heart and soul into it. It became personal for them then. And this has happened in numerous cases. But almost every documentary that I watched, the different polices from the different parts of the world seem to have the same, interaction, is it?
Mm.
They seem to have the same, let's say, the same interests, the same feelings, the same motives for whatever. It's just that they took it personal.
Yeah.
They really wanted to do their job good. But what happened then, it becomes more than their job. It becomes...
Their obsession.
Obsession, yeah.
Yeah.
It becomes something that they can't... It becomes something that they cannot walk away from.
That reminds me of one I'm watching now.
The way...
The Wire. The Wire is like that.
Right, tell me about The Wire in a few minutes. The way they see it is that if they walk away from this case, they're in their hearts, they're thinking, look, that they could be that one person that can solve that case. And they're thinking then, if they walk away from the case, even if it gets too much for them, there might be nobody else in this world that will trace up that case and never give the family or whoever, whether it be parents, grandparents, cousins, relatives,
a bit of peace,
no matter who they are, a bit of peace and consolation.
Mm.
So, in other words, it's not brought to an ending, like. So this is why they pour their heart and soul into it. It becomes personal, and they even literally, they almost bring it home with them, which is not, they're not supposed to, because it's not good, like. But it happens to them without realising it. So now they're at a stage they do not want to give up. But that's the thing that used to fascinate me about. It wasn't the part about the murders. It was the part about the police work. It was so wonderful to see how hard they used to try to bring peace to the situation, basically.
Well, The Wire is like that. And it's called The Wire because they do wiretaps on these different criminals. Mainly, first of all, it's young black drug dealers in a place called Baltimore. And then it's Polish dock workers. And then it's politicians and da-da-da-da. But they're undercover wiretappers. It's probably the original good box set that was out. You know, remember when box sets came out and you had like The Sopranos and all this type of stuff?
Yes.
The Wire is kind of like the original version of all of them.
Right.
It's done really well. But it reminded me of the wiretapping that we're hearing in our courts now with the Hutch Kinahan.
Serious?
Yeah, they got like 10 hours of wiretaps where the Jeep went, this is public knowledge now, where the Jeep went from the south of Ireland into Northern Ireland and back. And it was like 2 trips, so there's 10 hours of them talking. They've released like all of the...
Are you saying it was on the news and all that, like?
They released on the news everything that they were saying.
All right. Well, anyway, Dean, look at... The other thing about it is, what I meant to talk to you about was, I don't know a big lot about it. Do you know have you ever heard of the bats in Dunleary? I think, come on, you're a Dublin man all your life.
I remember Rainbow Rapids in Dunleary.
What's Rainbow Rapids?
They had big slides and all.
In Dunleary?
This is probably the same thing now.
Well, this is bats. Bats, where you can bathe, actually bathe.
Yeah, so they used to have a thing called Rainbow Rapids as well. So we'd get the train over, the dart over.
To Dunleary.
And you know those big, like, windy, colourful slides?
Yes.
They had them.
Outside based.
Outside,
obviously.
and it went into a little bat, and the bat was full of seawater.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I wanted to find out. They're not spending, let's say, they spend millions
Yeah.
on doing them up again because they were closed down for so long.
I like the way we went from wiretapping to Rainbow Rapids.
Yeah, because the reason is, you see, because we only have 5 hours left of this podcast. Would you imagine someone sitting down listening to us two idiots for 5 hours? We're lucky to get them to listen for an hour if we can do it at all, and that's definitely in their spare time.
So go on, this has grabbed your attention, has it?
Yeah, and I was wondering, I seen actually a clip of it about 3 or 4 months ago, and I was meant to talk a little bit about it. But the story is, I don't know a big lot about it. But it would be interesting to know more about it. The little bit that I do know is it was open back in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken, and forward up the way to 70s or 80s. No, sorry, it could be the 80s. I could be thinking. I'm not thinking because I didn't know.
Well, I
about
used
it.
to go there when I was a kid.
So it was in the 80s then.
Yeah.
It would have been there in the 80s basically.
Yeah, early to
Right then. Maybe that's where I'm getting the dates
early,
wrong.
mid, and late 80s. I would imagine. Yeah.
I'm going to go by what I'm reading, okay? And I'm also forgetting about what I read about. Okay, that's very easy. That's very easy to happen to me when I'm around you anyway, because you literally do me head in sometimes. When I sometimes come up with something that I'm interested in, Dean just kicks in and blows the what? Blows out the water, is it? Is that what you say?
What were you saying?
Ruins it completely. Like pouring black oil over the story.
What were you just about to say?
They've now recently, in the last 2 years, they've spent millions on decorating, on doing these, we'll call decorating them, doing these bats up again. They're basically open, not now, right now not opened. They done what you call a special opening this month basically. I think it's I'm not sure, is the 12th or the 13th. Strange date, like, because we're in the middle of winter. Absolutely. And that's what I couldn't figure out. But in the summertime again, now coming into next year, it's going to be open to all the public. So I'd like to find out.
Are we going to go?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to find out more about that. They go out there and get a nice. Oh man,
Do you have one here in Clontarf?
swim. I'm getting that. Can you keep that closed for a minute, please, if you don't
Go on,
mind?
ruining your lead.
I was trying to get
ruining your whole
I'm
story.
trying to get to that. This is where the mix-up was, right? Dunleary was the recent one I was talking about. Clontarf, I wasn't 100% sure. I was actually reading about one in Clontarf a few months ago as well.
You have an outdoor baths, an outdoor bathing,
An outdoor,
swimming
yeah.
pool. It was private, but now it's open to the public, so you can go down.
Yeah, but that was closed for a long time too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
They
only
done the same thing. They modernised it.
They modernised it. There's a restaurant and all there now, but it was a private. It was run by a private club, but now anybody can go down. It's open to the public.
But is it the councils now that's run the government?
I think so. Yeah, I think they were finding it hard to get people into it, using it for clubs only. So they're at to opening it up
To the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you ever had that?
Yeah, it's like I'd prefer swimming in the sea, to be honest, but I understand why people would use that. You know, some people don't like going to the sea because the floor is sandy and soft.
Yeah, but it's the sea water, isn't it?
Sea water.
And how is it like? I haven't been at it now. I only seen little pictures on
It gets
the
like filled. As far as I'm aware, it gets filled when the tide comes in.
Right.
They hold onto the water. And
So basically, supposing the tide is not strong now, and it doesn't get filled, will they use little buckets to?
yeah, you have to do that. You
Will
have to
they
fill
use
it with
little
buckets.
to fill it?
You have to fill it with buckets for 3 hours before you get in.
So how many thousand people would have using buckets to fill it? Come on, Dean, tell me.
I
what?
love the shit that goes on
Dean,
in your
you're,
fucking head. I can just imagine you, everyone there lining up,
What are the buckets on?
passing the buckets on.
No, the
There's
little
a
beach
hole
bucket
in my bucket.
Terrorizer. Do you know the one, the little beach bucket? It's about, it held about a litre of water, yeah, a litre of sand, whatever you want to call it. Use all them buckets, yeah?
So
look, you have a well filled them within 6 months anyway. So
by the time the summer comes around,
by the time the tide comes out,
what the fuck does be going on in your
by
head?
the tide comes out, it'd be full.
I'm looking at like a fully ass grown man. He has kids. He's married.
Dean, that's the reason I'm inquiring about this.
Right.
Because I have
51
kids.
years of age.
And I have grandkids. And I want to bring
But
them to
there's
it. The thing about it is, Dean,
like
it doesn't matter what you say. You know
6
why?
kids inside
You're
his
not going
head.
to change my perspective on this anyway. I'm just simply asking you, right? I was thinking, if this
Children
place,
head. That's your new
if this
nickname.
place has been closed down for years, is the fact that the tide never came in, no? So the only thing I can think about is get a gang together and start filling it up with water. Silly, innit?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Come here,
But I love being
go
silly.
back to the cashless payment in the garages, right? Because
Whoa,
I think
Dean
there's
has
a few. I
interesting
think
money.
this is going to kick in. They tried to do it.
Dean,
They
it's not just here in
tried to
Ireland.
do it last year, and the whole country went,
Yeah, but it's-
not a hope.
Yeah, but the whole country is powerless to this.
I think
It's
so as
going to
well.
happen.
There's a
because you know
bank.
why?
There's a bank in Ballymun, right?
Because when they stop giving out cash, and they're saying to you, look at your money is there, but go and use your card. I haven't got a card. Go and get a card, and then you get your money there.
Martin, there's a bank in Ballymun.
Yeah, go on.
There's no ATM.
That's right.
I don't know what they do.
No cash.
No cash, no ATM.
Yeah. Just go in and fill out papers or whatever.
I tried to lodge a check in it. She said, no, you have to go to the branch in Finglas.
Yeah, that's
I was
right.
like, well, what the fuck do you do then?
Why is this bank taking space?
What does this bank do?
Yeah.
And my money in the bank is paying for this shithole. I don't know what they do in the bank other than stand around telling people this bank does fuck all.
I don't have that problem, Dean, because I don't have no money, but I am feeling sorry for you.
You must have plenty of money. You're not paying the tolls on the Netflix.
On, Dean, I know that's an old one. Travelers don't pay the bills.
What bills do you pay?
No bills. I don't have bills.
No, but can I ask you?
Can you ask me?
Yeah, what bills do you pay?
You actually ask me personal stuff, that's what you're saying?
Well, you can ask me personal stuff. If you don't want to answer it, I have no problem.
You probably think I'm going to soften myself or something, is it? That I'm going to let you in there, like. Go on, give it a try.
What bills do you pay?
I just told you, Dean.
You don't pay any?
What? I don't pay bills. I get away with that the whole time. I pay the toll bridge. Meow.
No, you don't. You do this. Meow. Meow. Meow.
No, do this. Meow. Now, do that meow at 90 miles an hour.
How do you make a dog? How do you make a dog sound like a cat?
If you're doing the meow at 90 miles an hour, the camera's not getting you.
The
cameras are not picking up the range.
How do you make a dog sound like a cat?
How do I make a dog sound like a cat?
Yeah.
Give him a kick.
Put him on the back of a motorbike. Meow.
You shouldn't kick dogs. Yeah, that was okay, Dean. So you want to be the good guy now. You pay all your bills. Did you not just get scammed?
You're amazed the amount of bills you have when you actually look at it. Direct debits, man, is the biggest fucking... It's handy, but when you actually look at this shit... I cancelled 4 things there last week. I didn't even realise I was fucking paying them. And I was paying one of them. It was 30 quid a month. I was paying it for the last 2 years. I didn't even realise.
If you say that, you'll only be sorry. I'm
telling you, I didn't even realise.
I'm telling you now.
It was probably more than 30 quid. I'm being generous with myself there. I was paying it for...
It's okay. You don't need to say what you're paying for. We don't need your personal details.
2 years, I'd say I was paying for it. And I looked at it. I looked at it. Going, what the fuck is that?
We don't need your personal details, okay? I was looking at something where a girl was working in this say building, yeah? I can't think of the name of the place where she was working. She was actually a secretary, right? She was sacked, right? So she sued the company and she was paid like 22,000 compensation, right? 25,000. I think it was 22,000 anyway, right? In the range. Why do you think she was sacked?
No idea.
Guess, just guess.
She wore the wrong shoes.
She what? The wrong shoes.
She spoke in a foreign language when she wasn't meant to.
She wasn't sponsored by Nike, okay? So, sorry, you're wearing Nike there, Dean. Sorry.
She wore the wrong clothes to work.
She was the boss's son's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right? And they broke up basically.
With the boss's son.
With the boss's son, yes.
And he sacked her.
And the boss sacked her. So she didn't take it lightly. She went and she brought him to court. And she got like 25,000 compensation.
That's not bad.
No, she was well entitled to it. So he was like, was he trying to, I don't know how to make out this, was he trying to buy this girl and make her be the son's girlfriend, like? What do you make out of that?
I think...
Was he saying to her, look, you're under threat here, you're sacked, thinking that she'd
roll over and go,
she'd
sorry.
come back, okay, look, I met up with your son and is it okay if I get my job back? I'm guessing that's what he was thinking anyway. But I'd love to come across him and give him a few clatters across the back of the neck. Thinking that he could use a young girl and control her life like that. What do you think of that? Dean, again, I'm the questionnaire here, right?
You've assumed the role of the questionnaire.
I'm asking I want to take it for tonight, okay? And you answer the questions. And if you don't answer them right, don't worry. I won't be shy to tell you that you're Dean, you're going a bit off. What do you make of that? I think it's interesting.
What do I think about that? I think that young one made a show of both the boss and the son and took her power back and went,
yes,
you're not fucking around with me here.
Yeah.
I'll prove he's wrong now. I'll take this to task. You think I'm a woman and I'm just going to roll over and take this?
I don't know who the boss was, but I'll tell you one thing. He was crazy, wasn't he?
Some bosses are fucking... some
bosses
are
nuts. He was a bit of
nuts.
an Egypt, that's what he was. Thinking that money can't buy everything, you know.
Everyone has a price, Martin.
What was it again? What was that one again? Oh, gee, I can't think of it. But there was a good one there sometimes comes to my mind.
Everyone has a price. What's your...
Money can't buy you love, can't buy you love. Who sings that?
How much would your price be now?
My price?
Yeah.
Like, my price for what?
Like if I said to you, Martin...
Are you saying my price for my heart?
Martin, we're not getting an offer for the podcast. Yeah.
Whoa, yes, go on, Dean.
No, now you're interested.
Sorry, yeah.
You're to get an
Tell you
offer for
one
the
thing,
podcast.
You cleaned my ears out that time, Dean.
Somebody wants to sponsor us.
Yeah.
And they want to pay us to do the podcast for 12 months.
Yes.
What's your price?
Do you want to know the truth?
Yeah.
I don't really care. That's my answer to you, Dean.
If you were putting money on the table.
If they were putting money on the table.
Yeah.
If they said to you, to me and you, Martin, we're going to put such an amount on the table.
How much would that amount be?
I'd say that's fine.
How much?
Simple. It doesn't make a difference to me.
100 quid.
You can't, yeah, I'd put in the poor box. That's what I usually do with 100. The last 100 I got, I put in the poor box.
Martin, I avoid answering questions about money, Stokes. That's your new nickname.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. Why do I need to answer? Where do you come from anyway? I was talking about a girl that was sacked. And she let's say she stood up for her rights, if you like.
Yeah.
And she proved what she really did prove, fair play to her, was that she cannot be bought. As simple as that. And also, she's not going to be caught up in a relationship because she's under a threat. Because as simple as this, that was a threat. And I don't care what way the law or the guards looked at it, or who looked at it, or the judge, I think there should be more questions asked about that. Because why? She just didn't get paid for compensation because she was unfairly dismissed. Is that right? Yeah. It was actually an embarrassing situation also. And I was like saying, look, if you don't want to be my son's girlfriend, you don't stay here. Simple as that. So that was a threat.
So I'll threaten you.
I think that was a threat. And I also think, even if she got 22,000 compensation, it doesn't mention anything about the threat, but personally I think it was a threat. And I think, again, fair play to her, she stood up for it, and she put them to shame. And I'm not sure that it mentioned at the time, did it mention the firm that she actually worked for? You see? So, me again, I think, yes, it should have been mentioned. And they should have been named and shamed. Chances are they probably were. I'm not 100% sure on that one. So, I give her 10 out of 10. So, will you tell me something? What reference does this podcast have to us talking about a girl that was sacked, unfairly dismissed, as you like? Yeah. And you come across this one about, are we talking about people being bought? Is that what you're saying?
People being bought off, yeah, price.
Price?
Yeah, for 20 grand, she's sorted now.
No, I don't think that was her main
objective.
Yeah, her main objective, right? I don't think that was her main objective. Thanks for the education, Dean, also, yeah? I don't think it was a main objective to actually prove that it was about money. It was probably, I'm guessing, well, what I read from the story anyway, it was her actually telling him, look, I can't be bought, and also I won't be threatened. Because there was a threat there, simple as that, no matter how we look at it. And I give her 10 out of 10 for it. That's being honest about it. So she did put them in their place. And a pity that she didn't put them in their place twice as much.
Well, it's easy for people to accuse you of stuff. I think it's one of the easiest things in the world is for people to just accuse you of stuff. Like that outfit would have accused her of something and sacked her off. That boss.
Yeah, but this is where you see all things that come to a good ending, you see. For instance, if he's abusive, a boss, yeah, and he sacked this girl, which was committing herself to her job, basically, and the big suck or pet child, whatever you want to call him, of a son, big baby of a son.
What would you call a suck?
A big suck, a suck. He sucks the suitor. He goes around. With the suitor in his mouth all day.
The pet child.
Because Daddy is a millionaire, and Daddy's handing him. Daddy puts the golden pen in his pocket and puts the golden spoon into his mouth.
You sound like you're annoyed at these people. You haven't even met them.
Highly.
You said you were going to slap him in the head there.
Oh my God! If I come across him, I wear my knuckles off the back of his neck to say his truth, and I'm not a violent person. I don't care who he is, say his truth. If he's running a business in a big factory or a firm or a building, whatever it might be, and he's taking advantage of a girl in a situation like that, sure, of course, bang your knuckles off the back of his neck and straighten them up, and tell him you can't treat women like this or girls like this. Absolutely not.
So she hit him at 22,000 slap in the head.
Yeah, but it might be no affect him. If he's running a business and he has a secretary working for him, depending on how big his business is. But however big it was, it's smaller now because she's after taking 22,000 out of his bank account. And rightly so. So she's and also, for her to be actually have, now I'm not big into this, but the other thing would affect her, I'm guessing, that the fact that she was sacked on her CV, is it? So that wouldn't look good. So now she was left fighting to clear that bit also. So she proved by taking them to court that she was unfair dismissal. So she won in every way. And again, fair play to her. Absolutely.
Do you think he learned his lesson?
I hope he did, because he's going to be getting two of another 20,000 on the next secretary, especially if the son falls in love with her. But that's that story there, Dean. Anyway, what are we saying with the podcast? Sorry, go
on.
Dean, you're literally falling asleep today. Is everything okay, kid?
No, I'm grand. You told me to shut up 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, now I'm telling you to talk.
No.
I told you to shut up for 20 minutes. So, I'm not really able to carry you all night, Dean. Like, you know what I mean, kid? At the end of the day, you're the one with the edge. Oh, Dean, I was going to say to you, yeah. At the end of the day, you're the one with the education here. Like, you have all the degrees and the college and all that. And me...
Stop hiding behind their stupidity, will you?
Honestly, I am hiding behind it. You know why? You see, I left school at 12 years of age. I told you this before.
I'd say the fucking teachers were clapping the day you left.
And you keep taking advantage, don't you? Actually, the only reason I left because they paid me to leave.
So I went to see a show last night in Ballymun, and Sharyn Ward was singing that.
Right, very good.
Oh my God, amazing.
Brilliant.
I've seen her singing before in Ballymun, but for some reason last night she was performing with different acts from Ballymun and a mate of mine from America. My God. And so Richie was there. Richie Smith.
Was he there?
Yeah, Richie was there. And I was saying to him,
I lost Richie's number, you know that? Remember telling me
you lost every
water?
bleeding person's number.
Yeah, that's right. I lost about, at least, I lost 50 numbers, I'd say. Because
I'd say those people that thanking God that fucking each hasn't been on to me in months. I wonder what happened to him. I won't check.
Do you remember when my phone fell in the water? All my good numbers, absolutely. It was crazy.
But she sang
the numbers I didn't want stayed in the phone.
She sang Raglan Road with no music, a cappella, and I'm telling you, I
heard her singing it before.
There wasn't a dry eye in the house. Stunning.
Brilliant.
I was saying to Richie, see that film you're making about travellers? That's the song. That's the girl. Get her to sing over. My God, it was amazing.
Very good.
What I liked about it was she came out and she had a few fans in the audience, and she also said, is there any travellers here? And about 4 or 5 women put their hands up and start cheering and all that.
Is that right?
And then the rest of the whole room cheered and clapped. You know what I mean?
Nice. That's a great support, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
Brilliant.
But it wasn't just support for her. It was support for traveller people coming out and going to gigs. You know what I mean?
It was, but it started with her, didn't it? Like,
yeah.
Which is good.
But what she was celebrating was that, because I've done gigs in that place there, and I'd shout out, is there any travellers here? And for years you wouldn't hear anybody shouting up. You know what I mean? Like even your first time in Axis was when we done our podcast.
See, Dean, the thing about it is, you just said there that you've done gigs and you shout out, is there any travellers here?
Yeah.
And there was no travellers there.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Dean.
Occasionally you get 1 or 2, but you wouldn't get much more than that.
But you have to understand as well, who wants to go and watch you, Dean, in the think about it?
Oh, is this a slagging match for me now?
Yeah.
You want to get your shit together if you're ready to slag me.
Go on, Dean. Come here. Remember you said you're going to tell us a couple of jokes this evening, yeah?
Go on then.
Now, I need to relax.
No, I didn't tell anybody I was telling them a couple of jokes. You like me to tell you some
forget
jokes.
About the arguing and fighting, right?
I'm going to use your trick. I don't tell jokes.
I'll tell you what to do, right? Yeah, but see, sometimes just because you don't tell jokes, Dean, doesn't mean you're not a joke.
Sing us an old song there.
Come on, son, leave it out. Come on, Dean, give it a shot.
Go on, sing us a song.
Come here, let's not be debating all night now.
On
look, I kept you chatting.
Raglan Road of an autumn's day, I saw her and I knew.
Come on, Dean, come on. Dean, if you don't mind me saying, stick with the day job, son.
Help me finish that song off, go on.
Yeah, come on. Tell us a couple of your jokes, Dean. Don't be making a big issue out of it now.
I'm
Come
brand
on.
new, I'm all right.
Yeah, you told me you lots of traveller jokes, right? Tell me at least
I've about
one.
3 of them and I told you them all.
Go on, shout them out. Go on.
I've about 3 of them and I
Just
told
shout
you
them
them.
out, Dean, will you please?
Do you want to hear one? What's a traveller's favourite bar?
I don't know, Dean, to be honest with you. That's a very childish joke. Crowbar, is that?
Well, no, a tow bar.
A tow bar.
That's the only one you're getting
yeah,
out of me.
but
That's the only one, because you'll be accused of being racist now.
Don't mind the tow bar, watch out for the crowbar. Any else there, Dean?
No, because they get a little bit...
Dean, I think we've talked about this before.
They get a little bit vicious.
I think you told me, you had me convinced that you were a comedian for 15 years.
I'm sitting in front of the best singer, the best traveller singer in Ireland, apparently.
I don't want to say that we got run out. What do you call it in England? What was that one? Oh, the Fair. I keep forgetting. The Edinburgh Fair. Yeah, the Edinburgh Festival. Yeah, I don't want to keep bringing that up to you, Dean, reminding you that you got sacked out of that, like, because the reason I don't want to do it because you told me you were doing stand up for 15 years. Come on, fire away there.
Oh, so come here.
What?
You know who I met last night? A girl that I met in London a couple of years ago. Her name is Suzanne. I think that's how she pronounces it. We were in the London Irish Centre. Do you know what the London Irish Centre is?
The London Irish Centre.
Yeah.
It's here in Dublin, yeah?
It's in London.
It's in London?
Yeah.
Right, I find that funny, the Dublin Irish Centre, the London... Yeah, the Irish Centre.
Where would you say the Manchester Irish Centre is?
The Manchester Irish Centre?
Yeah.
Is it Manchester?
Very good. So where's the London Irish Centre?
I'd say in Dublin.
Yeah, very good.
The way you brought that to me sounded like it was in Dublin.
I met her in the London Irish Centre.
I met her last night. So I'm thinking, Dean, you were in London last night.
So I met her in the London Irish Centre a couple of years ago. So I met her last night in the Access at that gig that Sharyn Ward and a few other heads were playing at.
Yeah, go on.
So she manages Finbar Furey. So I sent her the podcast and I said, look, if Finbar likes it, get him on as a guest.
Yeah.
Now she said, look, it's not likely that Finbar will do it, but she'll send it to him.
Yes.
I think it'd be a good chat. You might actually get a song out of him.
Come here. Off who?
Oh, Finbar. You and Finbar could do a duet.
I'll tell you a good one with Finbar, will I?
Go on.
Right. About, say, 5-6 years ago, probably a little bit more, yeah? I went out to, say, Clondalkin, yeah? I was buying a small, like 7-seater minibus, yeah? The guy he upgraded, yeah? So I was buying them anyway, and I was chatting them and one thing or another. I said, of course, like, you know how you have a conversation. I said, it's a Royal bus, and of course, it suited me, I ended up buying them. I said, I'd say you carried a fair few passengers in this one. Yeah, he said, just a few weeks ago, he said I had Finbar Furey in the back of it. So, yeah, he said, he basically ordered a taxi, so as it was, I turned up. And he said, of course, collected them, and he was heading to, I'm not sure, did he say he was heading to a gig or he was heading to the airport? One of them anyway is ringing in my mind, yeah? So anyway, he said, he gets in the back, he said, and his case, whatever, like, not case, like a folder thing, like, he said, just threw there, he said, and took some papers out. So as I was driving along, I just put one or two little words to them and one to another, and then I said, whatever he said, like, any gigs coming up, if you don't mind, Finbar Furey shout out to him, if you don't mind, he said, will you stop asking questions and just drive?
Very good, yeah.
I'm busy here, he said, doing some paperwork. Oh, your man told me, he said, the earth could have swallowed him, he said. He was just... But I said, what did you do? I didn't do anything, he said. I just got completely embarrassed, he said.
You got thrown a bit.
He said, I was trying to just make conversation, he said. Be nice, not a man. But obviously, he said he was busy and he was concentrating on his lines or whatever he was doing, like, on the man, the work.
Your man wanted a bit of chit-chat out of him or an old song or something.
So your man wanted a bit of chat, and straight up, if you don't mind, could you, how would he say it, could you drive? Oh yeah, could you just drive and don't ask any questions.
Just drive and be
in
quiet.
them lines, you know what I mean? So I just said, I wanted Kings when he told me.
Would you be a fan?
Of Finbar Furey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, we went to see them there one time in the DCU.
Did you? In the Helix?
Yeah, the Helix, yeah.
Wow.
The Furies, yeah. Did you ever know that the Furies have a traveller background?
Yeah.
You did know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, see?
They're part of Irish culture, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Furies.
Talk about the Furies. The big man himself is fighting tonight, isn't he?
Oh, Tyson.
Wow, Tyson the Traveller Fury.
Yeah. The Gypsy King.
Let me remind you, he is a traveller, like, you know. He's the world champion. What do you think, Dean?
I seen Sylvester Stallone said to him, did you see that bit?
No,
Sylvester
tell me.
Stallone.
I don't see it all.
Sylvester Stallone was on Jonathan Ross' TV show, and I think Tyson Furey was on as a guest. Sylvester Stallone was on the screen by satellite.
All right, yeah.
And he said, I just want to say that in my humble opinion, Tyson Furey is the greatest ever heavyweight boxer in the history of boxing.
Yes.
That's some bleeding thing to say, isn't it?
It is, to be honest, Trout.
I think at this point he's milking it though a bit.
In what way? Are you going to get down to reading for Travellers now, are you?
I think he's milking
typical,
it.
so go ahead.
I think he knows he's like never going to be defeated, and he has this fella in the ring for the third time. What's his name? Derek Chisora, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in the ring for the third time.
Yeah, but don't forget, Dean, he's probably a nice person, that Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
He's obviously given
someone else a chance.
He's giving them a chance to earn a few bob.
I think he should retire.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think he's...
Supposing it's in him not to retire. Maybe the man can't retire. Maybe his brain won't let him retire.
Yeah, he did mention that. He did say, look, I'm after developing this character called the Gypsy King, and sometimes I just can't put it down.
Yeah, it'll probably be a known fact in time to come that he just couldn't give up, couldn't stop, unless he can come up with something else, maybe nothing to do with boxing. Yeah, not in a sense, nothing to do with boxing.
Bit of acting,
maybe running a gym or do a bit of light acting. He released a song there a few weeks ago. You know that?
What was the song?
Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline, yeah.
Sweet Caroline.
Hold on.
You know the best.
Get me on the good note.
Sweet Caroline.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Good things never seem so good. Nah, I could never sing it like Tyson. Brilliant, he is. And you know the best thing about the whole thing? He done it for charity.
Very nice.
Yeah, every cent.
What was the charity? For mental health, was it?
I'm not sure the charity, what it was. I think it was something like that. But the main thing is, whichever charity he goes to, it means it's helping a charity. There's all types of different charities out there, and they all need help. Simple as. So whichever charity he goes to, it means it's a good deed no matter what.
Fair play to him. He's doing something that he loves. Singing lifts the heart, lifts the soul. Yeah. Giving away to charity.
Sure, he sang a few songs, even when he had his fights for us, not recently, but
remember he dressed up as Batman and all.
Yeah. He takes the microphone, just sings, simple as.
It's brilliant.
He's some courage, that man, isn't he? He
doesn't take, not anymore. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He used to take himself too seriously.
Yeah, well, obviously, come here now.
You know
naturally,
it's a lot of bleeding, a lot of pressure, you know.
Yeah, but naturally, he's going to take himself seriously, even in the starting off or the middle of his career or whatever, because he wants people to know who he is. Simple as.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's probably just above that barrier. He can do what he's doing now, do it in style, and do it just in a relaxing way.
There's a fella I'm looking at, he's an Irish fella, Thomas Carty. He's had his third professional fight. I actually had him up here in Ballymun doing some boxing last summer with some young travellers. Came up, gave a couple of hours of his time, really nice. But he's on his he just won his third professional fight there.
Is he a settled lad or a traveller?
Settled fella, yeah.
You know there's travellers Carty, don't you?
Yeah.
So now we have settled people called Carty and we have travellers called Carty.
So it's a beauty.
Yes, that's why I asked you, is he a settled person or a traveller?
So he's a settled fella.
It's good one way or another, like I'm just saying.
Settled fella, fluent Irish speaker, but he's on his third fight and you can see the pressure of it a bit in him. You know what I mean? In his face. It's hard fucking work, like, you know what I mean?
Boxing.
The business of boxing.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? And then once you're in the ring, it's all on the fucking line. Yeah. And if you've had 2 wins in a row and you get 3 wins in a row, the expectation is you're going to get 4 wins in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And eventually, like Anthony Joshua found out, eventually some little Mexican's going to come up and rabbit punch you.
That's right.
And just take it all away from you.
That's right.
All your dreams, all your ambition.
That happens to, I'm not saying that happens to big-headed fellas. I do think that they actually drop their guard. And they
literally.
Yeah, I do. And they underestimate their opponent. It's a fact.
Yeah, and
if you go in there, you have to you have to assume that this guy is here, is going to beat you. Not that he's going to beat you. Obviously, he's there to beat you. He's there to try.
Yeah, and the shy talking and the bravado gets in the way. I'm going to beat you. You're going to beat me.
Yeah.
You won't beat anybody. I'll thump the head off you.
That's part of the wage. You're getting paid.
Yeah, it's getting part of it. It's part of the business of it. But sometimes they get caught up in that as well, and they start believing their own bullshit, and they take their eye off their opponent.
That's right. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. They're underestimating the opponent. So that's the one thing. Like, I'm not saying into boxing or stuff, but the point about it is I do watch a lot of it.
One of the things they say is the
And
only person I'm in there fighting against is myself. Yeah, but you also have a little fucker who can dump the bleeding liver off you.
Yeah,
he's not going anywhere.
that's the main instructions, along with everything else that a trainer will give to his boxer, is to never, ever, ever underestimate the opponent. Never, no matter what. Even if you think you can beat him 5 times fold.
Like that girl who got sacked.
Underestimate
Like that girl who got sacked and got to 20 grand. Don't underestimate somebody.
That's right.
If you're going to try and pull a punch on somebody, make sure, you know what I mean, you're ready. You're ready for the counter punch.
He probably underestimated her kindness, and I'm guessing that's what it was. That she was probably too kind, and you've heard her saying a million times that don't take my kindness
for weakness.
That's
a beauty.
Absolutely, of course, because it's a known fact. Like, I can be whatever, anybody can be kind to a person. And if that person takes advantage of them and thinks like, oh, this guy is kind, so does it make him an idiot? Absolutely not, because that idiot has got 2 sides to him. He can be kind 1 minute, and you mess around with that kindness, he's going to be an angry person, isn't he? So that's the moral of the story is, yes, don't take my kindness for a weakness. If I'm being kind to you, it's because I want to be kind. It's not because I have to be kind. It's because I want to be. You see? So people don't see them things. People are blind. A lot of people are blind to that stuff. Where they see a good person there, they try to take advantage of a situation. Don't even go there. Wrong decision.
Yeah, but they would do it if they've got away with it before.
No, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all it takes is one person to go, hold on a minute here. You're not going to bleed and pull the wool over my eyes.
That's right.
You're not going to pull the rug underneath me. Yeah, it's nice. I've been in that situation a couple of times where
Sorry, Dean, I am making an apology now before we even get there. I am sorry for putting you
in honestly,
situation.
I've been in that situation. Sometimes people take your kindness for a weakness.
Dean, I think
and they think, hold on a minute.
I think everyone.
This fella's too nice. I'm going to make a show of him in front of other people. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, when you're back, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can humiliate them bigger and worse than they could ever even try to humiliate you. Because they're shocked. This guy actually talks. I didn't even know he talked. Huh?
I thought he was just a big
lump.
You're
doing more than talking. You're roaring, you're ramping, you're raving, and you're shouting. And it's beyond his control now. He has
the judge calling me out for 22 grand. I'm getting taxed for my stupidity.
That story, you know why? Because I actually love that story.
It's a nice story.
Yeah.
When you see the little sweetness in it, where he thought Billy Big Bollocks was going to make a show with this young girl and get her, coerce her into going out with the fella that she didn't even like.
Yeah. So it's
you don't worry about her, son. I'll sort her out.
Yeah, huh?
I've got a couple of mil in the bank. I'll mark her card.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It was the opposite way around. But I think that was the crack there anyway about all of that there. And where are you going tomorrow? You're going to some show tomorrow, yeah?
I'm going. If you want to come, let me know. Going to see Maverick Sabre. By the time this podcast come out, the show will be over. 10 years since Maverick recorded his first album, and he got into a contract with a record label, and he wasn't really earning money off the album, and he wasn't really out getting promoted by that label, so he decided to go independent.
That's what I was talking about earlier on, yeah?
Wow.
Do you think it's about the money for him, yeah?
Who?
Any of these people that sing like this.
Do I think what's about the money?
Does it have to be about the money, or is it just a passion there?
Well, the fact was, he wouldn't have got paid for about 20 or 30 years at all. The record label was taking all the money.
Serious?
That's generally what happens when you sign to a big record label. They put all the money up front. They pay for all the stuff like the tours and the recordings and all that.
But they don't give you
But they take back every penny and more that they've ever put into you. And you're the artist, and you're at the writing all the songs and doing all the recordings.
So how did he get out of the contract then?
I think he had to wait. There was like a 10-year wait.
Serious?
Yeah. But it happens to bands all the time.
I know that, yeah. So he learned a lot in them 10 years.
I think absolutely learned a lot.
Another thing as well, right? Why is it that nobody gets up there, or do they? I don't know for sure, but I don't hear much about it. Why is it that nobody gets up there and says, look for a second, this is going out to anybody that wants to start off a career in singing or music or acting, whatever it
They
might
do,
be.
Martin, and I know where you're going. Why don't they inform them? They do.
Advise people, yes.
But there's young bulls out there, yeah, that want all the glory.
But
They want to be the heavyweight champion of the world, and they'll have honey poured in their ear by the fame and the lights and the glitz and the glamour and the manager who's wearing the nice suit and driving the nice car, and they'll believe the hype. They'll believe the bullshit fantasy dream that's being put up in the big billboards and the lights in front of them. Meanwhile, the contracts are being written up in the boardroom going, we'll take this fool for every penny he has and every penny he'll ever have.
So they're not even giving them a chance out in life.
So why would they? It's business.
A chance to start out in life, I meant to say.
They realise they probably have 2 or 3 good fights in them.
Right.
2 or 3 good records, 2 or 3 good films.
So we're dealing with people that has no conscience, as I was saying.
Well, they have a business conscience.
No, they have no conscience. They don't have a conscience.
They're in business. It's show business. It's the entertainment business. It's the boxing business.
They have business thoughts, they have business ideas, they have business actions, they have everything about them is business, but they don't have a conscience, no matter how they look at it. It's as simple as that. If they're robbing, say you have some young
conscience doesn't pay the Mercedes bleeding petrol.
Absolutely, yeah, that's right. But if they don't have a conscience, then they can have all the Mercedes that they want and all the big houses they want. They're not going to be happy with it in the end, no matter what.
Yeah, but
and
they're happy right now.
Yeah, they're happy cheating and robbing and stealing. Yeah, I understand. Barefaced daylight robbery.
Sacking the young woman for going out with the fella.
Yes.
They're happy right now. Yeah. Short-term gains.
So what I'm saying is, supposing you have this young boy or young girl starting off and wants to build up, maybe start off, write a song, record it, get it out there, and God bless them to think it's going somewhere because this producer or whoever he is, a manager or something, has told them, then he thinks it's going to go somewhere. Now he gets them to sign before it even takes the lift, basically, yeah. Right. Now, then before you know it, he has them singing here, he has them singing there, he has them all over the venues, yeah? And they know that they're not doing this for nothing, yeah? This is their job now, this is their career. But what they don't know is that your man behind the curtain there, he's fixing it in a way where they're not going to receive no royalties whatsoever. Yeah? So therefore, aren't they robbing that young person of their career for starters?
Yeah, well, it's like going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago.
They're robbing them,
what's your price?
They're robbing them of their ambition. It's not just about the money part. They're literally destroying their lives in a certain sense.
But they're making money off it.
Yeah, but this is the
point. They're not
in
the saving people's lives business. They're in the making money business.
Yeah, and that's where the problem is. And there should be a law against it.
A law against making money?
No, a law against these people fooling young people and convincing young people to sign contracts that they don't really have a clue about. They should be advising them what's the right and the wrong, not stealing from them.
Sure, if they were advising them, then they wouldn't be making the money off them.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story, is Dean. This is the moral of the story here is that there should be a law against it. It should be investigated. Right. You're a manager, you're a producer, you're a director, you're everything that it takes for a young girl or young boy to make a record, okay? Right. But you haven't advised them the right way. You've advised them to a certain degree that will bring money your way. That's against the law. That's robbery.
It's not their business to advise people for the benefit of the other person. It's their business to do the right thing for them, to advise themselves. That's why they have their own legal teams and their own accountants.
No, I don't think so.
They're ringing up the accountant going, listen, I want you to advise me on how I can make the most money here. They're ringing their solicitors going, I want you to advise me on how to make the most money out of this person. They're not ringing the young person going, I want to advise you on how so you can save all the money.
Exactly, they're not.
They're not doing that. That's not the business they're in.
Yeah, and so they shouldn't be in the business because one way or another, it's robbery. It's simple as that.
Absolutely it is.
So therefore, they should be there to advise the young person.
But unfortunately, it's legal robbery.
Exactly. They should be there to advise the person, bring them a step further in their lives and make sure, look at whatever the percentages are, like 50, 60, 40, 50, 50, 40, 60, whatever it might be.
It's probably 80. It's probably 80-20.
Come here. We mightn't be getting, as the fellow would say, we mightn't be getting all the cake, but at least each person is getting enough to keep everybody happy.
So what happens is, right at that moment when there's a little bit of lift and everyone gets excited,
Yes.
like, for example, this podcast, right? Who owns this podcast?
I don't know. Do you want to toss up for it?
Who owns it?
Us.
Me and you.
Yes.
Yeah? Does anyone else have any shares in it?
Not really, no.
So it's 50-50.
Yes.
Yeah? You put 50 in, you get 50 out.
Yes.
Same with me. Okay.
Yes.
If in a couple of weeks' time we get some amazing guest on and all of a sudden there's 50,000 people a week listening to our podcast and we get a little bit of a lift, yeah? We all get a little bit excited and we get people ringing us up going, do you want to come in and have a conversation about a contract? And we all have the butterflies in our stomachs and we're ringing our boyfriends and girlfriends and sisters and aunties and uncles and wives going, this is going to be amazing.
Hopefully it'll happen, Dean, but I'm going to leave that all to you.
So that's the moments that the record label or whoever sweeps in and
Yeah,
goes,
that's right.
come here, we've had 20 years of experience in
Come
this.
Here, do you want sweets? That's the
Do you
first
want
thing.
sweets? Do you want honey in your ear? Sure, we have bleeding Michael Jackson signed to our label and
Yes.
bleeding this podcast and that actor. And you go, oh my God. And you ring up your mammy going, I'm just about to sign this contract. And you know who's at the walking in the room? Al Pacino. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yes.
I'm in the same room as Elvis Presley. You sign the contract.
Talk
and
about
then
Elvis Presley.
And then the door shuts, go doink.
Talk about Elvis Presley. Destroyed his life.
The contracts,
They
yeah.
ruined his life.
Yeah, now he had a
He
part.
became a
He
different
had a little
person.
bit of a part to play in it. He was young and naive
Yeah,
and talented.
Exactly, that's right. And he had his ego, but naturally he's only young. He had everything basically. But they knew this. And they also knew where he wanted to be. So they took him there. They brought him there and there was no return. He didn't want to go back.
He didn't want to go back.
He didn't want to go back to his life, put it that way. And that's what ended him in the end. They literally destroyed him. That Colonel, what do you call him?
Colonel Sanders, was it?
Colonel something anyway, whoever he was, he literally ruined his life because he took full command. He took full control of his life.
And when he wanted to leave, he said, you can leave,
Yeah.
but just be aware that you owe me 90%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
What do you mean I owe you 90%? Here's the contract you
He had him
signed.
signing contracts that he didn't even realise he was signing. Now, we're talking about Elvis. How many singers or actors or whatever it might be, talented people as you call it, that this has happened to?
I would say the majority of them.
Because we have what you call them vultures, is it? We have vultures out there just waiting to chew them up. And that's exactly what it is. And it absolutely ruins people's lives.
So what I would recommend is that you, as far as you can, you do it yourself. DIY, manage yourself. And now in the era of technology, it's easier and easier and easier to manage it all yourself.
Yeah.
And if one part of it becomes unmanageable, let's say, for example, we do more live podcasts and all of a sudden we've got a live podcast every week and we're trying to ring up and book venues and this and that and it becomes a bit unmanageable. Well, then we get a booking manager. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or let's say we want to start filming this and we want 3 cameras and 6 microphones and all this type of stuff. Well, then we'll get a production manager. You know what I mean? And we get managers and pay them for a specific role. Where what happens is generally people want to go out and they want to get one manager and one label to take care of everything. If they take care of everything, they're also going to take everything. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely
Like,
right, yeah.
if you want to hand over all responsibility and all roles to other people, those other people will get all the benefits.
So what are we up there, Dean, anyway? I think that's good enough for tonight, is it?
So the model of the story is
Yes.
we're going to see Maverick Sabre and we're going to celebrate him being free in his own record label.
And that's tomorrow.
An independent artist. That's Sunday night in the Olympia Theatre.
So Maverick Sabre, here we go. So the other thing I was going to ask you, is he a friend of yours by now? He must be.
Yeah,
Because you never stop talking about him,
I know.
which is a good thing.
Just like you, I never stop telling people that I like you.
Dean, leave it out, son, will you?
Do you find it hard to
Dean,
take a compliment off me or what?
No, I don't mind taking the compliment, but I have no more sweets left to share.
What do you
with
get me for Christmas?
Wait, now, what do you call them? Is that a pearl drop, was it? What's them sweets? Dean, I'm lost with you again. You keep doing this to me all the time.
Is you blaming
Every
your
time.
stupidity on
I'm
me?
blaming you because you won't stop. You keep yap.
It's called a
How
podcast.
to say it? I was trying to say that one.
Episode 26, A Traveller and a
Episode
Countryman.
26. Dean,
Martin,
What are we?
2
Two bloody Egypts.
gobshites.
The bleeding lunatics, absolutely.
Yep.
Anyway, episode 26, that's it, is it?
Yeah.
Thank God I want to go home.
See you later.
I have enough. I've just seen enough of you for one day. Matter of fact, for 1 week.
So that's us for this episode, Traveller and a Countryman podcast. If you like it, let us know, share it around, and we'll see you on the road.